Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I am collabing with 3 of my dearest friends and 3 of the most amazing creators here on this platform. Leanna Dalton, Ash from Makeup and Chaos, and Andi from Andi Does Stuff. Yes! Now, we did do a collab in December. It was the top 10 reasons why we are on Santa's naughty list collab. And we were all cracking up about how lame our reasons were for being on Santa's naughty list. But we do have a group chat on Instagram, and I believe Ash came up with this idea. They said, why don't we do another collab together? And I'm like, yes, I am all in. Let's do it. Now, I will get into what the premise of this collab is about. This is the first time I've ever done anything quite like this before. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about my collab partners. Now, Leanna is absolutely wonderful. If you guys have not yet gone to subscribe to her channel, I cannot recommend her channel highly enough. And one of the things I love the most about Leanna's content, well, on YouTube and on Instagram, is her beauty and the soul challenges. She started doing those, I think last year in January was when she started those. And she comes up with just the most amazing premises for those challenges. And I've taken part in all but one. I just ran out of time and wasn't able to film a video for that challenge. But she does have a recent one that I need to film a video about. And that challenge is just talking about how you define beauty. What does beauty mean to you? Which I think is going to be really fun to take part in. And she just has awesome content. She's real. You're going to get the truth from Leanna. And she's just one of the most inspirational and motivational people I've ever met in my life. And then we have Ash, Makeup and Chaos. And they truly are one of the most talented creators here on this platform. And they don't get near enough attention or support for their content. And I wish that would change, because Ash does things with makeup that I would never even think to do. And it always turns out absolutely spectacularly. I mean, I'm not kidding. They can take any palette, any color combination, and just create absolute magic with their eyeshadow looks. And they're just very near and dear to my heart. Ash and I are both from the same town. We have met before in person. It was a wonderful experience. And I don't know, I will always have a very soft, mushy, special, warm place in my heart for Ash. And then we have Andi. Andi Does Stuff. Andi and I have just a very wonderful, beautiful friendship with each other. We really get each other. And I know that, like, if I need the honest to goodness truth, I'll get it from Andi. Andi's content is amazing. She does all kinds of different things on her channel. One of the things she does that I really want to start getting involved in are panning projects. She is just incredible with panning projects, blows my mind. And I do believe that she is one of the, if not the most sexiest women on this planet. She has the sexiest hair, this curly, voluminous hair. I have a woman crush on Andi, I will admit it. But I really do recommend that all of you go and subscribe to each of their channels and show all of them a ton of love and support. They are all truly unique, beautiful, talented, and just amazing people. Okay, so let me get into what this collab is actually about. So Ash, like I mentioned, came up with this idea. They said, why don't we choose our 5 favorite brands in terms of eyeshadow palettes, choose a palette from that brand that is your favorite, and then choose a shade out of that favorite palette to create an eye look. So 5 shades in total. And this was not easy, because I love a lot of brands and I love a lot of different shades out of different palettes from different brands, you know? So I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? First, I was going to go like with green shadows, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do green. Let's maybe do something a little different. So this is going to be like blue, purple, black is what I'm thinking. And I know I've done some purple and blue looks lately, but I just love that color combo. So I picked 5 palettes from my 5 favorite brands. And I've almost swapped out a couple things, and I thought, no, you pick these, you're going to stick with them. And I'm super excited to see what my collab partners chose as their favorite brands, palettes, and shades, right? That's going to be really fun. So I'm going to start off with this palette right here, the Nomad Royal Europe palette, because I just filmed a 2 looks video with this and fell even more in love with this palette. This has become my favorite Nomad eyeshadow palette that I have in my collection. And Nomad is one of my absolute favorite US indie brands, just stellar quality of all of their palettes. And I think the shade that I'm going to be using out of this palette today is this one right here called Palace of Versailles, which wasn't easy because I really love these shimmer shades, but I have some other shimmer shades I think will look really cool in this eye look today. So that is the shade I'm choosing out of the Nomad Royal Europe palette for my look. Now I also love Beauty Bay. Beauty Bay is one of my favorite brands. And so I grabbed the Age of Opulence palette because I love this color story. It's one of my absolute favorites from this brand. And I am pretty sure I know what shade I'm going to be using out of this palette. And it's this one right here called Rich. It's this beautiful kind of like teal, deep teal matte shade. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be using today. Love it. And then I grabbed a palette from Glamlite because Glamlite is one of my favorite brands too. And I grabbed the Scooby-Doo Creeps and Crawls palette. Woo! Now I think what I'm going to be using from this palette, I might use a couple shades from this palette. I'm definitely going to be using this one right here, this darker teal shade, because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But then I'm also thinking I might use this shade instead, this purple shade. I don't know, as I get the mattes on, I'll really be able to tell for sure. But I also want to use this shade right here and this shade right here on my lower lash lines. So that'll be coming out of this palette. Then, of course, I had to choose a palette from LadybugGlow because LadybugGlow is my absolute favorite indie brand. Well, neck and neck with Saints, Angels, Sinners. So I grabbed the Pond Lily palette from LadybugGlow. And the shade that I'm going to be using out of this palette, I think, is this shade right here called Lotus. Or I might use Hyacinth. I might even use both. We'll see. But this color story is so unique and so beautiful, and I just am so obsessed with the LadybugGlow formula, especially of their shimmers. Their mattes are lovely too, but I really am head over heels in love with the shimmer formula from this brand. Oh, yes. And then the fifth palette from the fifth brand is from Saints, Angels, Sinners, one of my other favorite US indie brands. And of course I had to choose the Steph's Pier palette. This is my sister's palette, had to choose it. And it was not easy for me to come up with the shade out of this palette to use for this look, but I think what I'm gonna do is use Rock, this black matte, and then I think what I'll do is pop one of these multi-chrome shimmer shades in my inner corner. That's what I'm thinking. I really wanted to use Nonny, but I have another collab coming with Steph and Marina, and we're gonna be doing some fun stuff with this palette, with that shade Nonny. So yeah, these are the 5 palettes I'm going to be using, and those are the shades I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using for this eye look today. Wish me luck. I hope this turns out well. So I already have my brows done. This eyelid is primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01, and I'm just going to start getting into this eye look. So I will start off with the Royal Europe palette from Nomad, and I'm going to be using this shade right here called Palace of Versailles and putting that in my transition area. Now you might notice that my tongue is green because I have been eating a truckload of freeze-dried Skittles today. Have you guys ever tried freeze-dried Skittles? If you haven't, you're missing out. I just happened to be at our local convenience store. I think I was getting like creamer or something. Oops, this is getting a little creasy. Let me fix that. And there were these bags of candy, freeze-dried candy, near the cash register. And it's from a brand called So Good, and So is spelled S-O-W. At first I thought it was Sow Good, and then the guy behind the counter who I went to high school with is like, so. I'm like, okay. And it's all these different freeze-dried candies. They have like gummy bears, Skittles, of course, little mini Starbursts, gosh, what else? Peachy rings, those peach rings, nerd clusters, all kinds of stuff. And I'd gotten my husband some freeze-dried gummy bears to try a while back, and he didn't like them. I didn't really like them either, didn't like them. But I had gotten myself a bag of the freeze-dried Skittles, and they are absolutely mind-blowingly good. I mean, it sounds strange, you know, freeze-dried Skittles, but basically they're just like crunchy. I don't know how to describe them. Like they've sucked all the moisture out of them or whatever, and they're just these crunchy little candies now. They're so good, and I could eat my own body weight 5 times over in freeze-dried Skittles. So as I was unloading and loading the dishwasher earlier, I just started chowing down on some freeze-dried Skittles. Apparently had a lot of green ones, so my tongue is kind of green. Gross. But I'm really not turning into an alien. I just can't control myself with the freeze-dried Skittles. And that is absolutely gorgeous, as I knew it would be. It's blending out beautifully. and it's applying easily, you know. I mean, these shadows basically just kind of blend themselves. You know, you just kind of get them on the brush and start putting them on your eyelid, and it's like, wha-bam, done. So I think I'm done with that shade. I'll put this palette aside, and I'm gonna go into the Age of Opulence palette from Beauty Bay. And again, I'll be using this shade right here called Rich in my crease. And I would love to know, of course, what your guys' favorite 5 brands are. And I know that's a tricky thing to figure out. Well, it was for me anyway, because, you know, I love a lot of brands, and, you know, I thought about, like I mentioned, I thought about changing out a couple of the palettes, but I thought, no, stick with this, please. You don't need to make this any more difficult than it already is. But I would love to know what your guys' favorite brands are. And then, of course, what your favorite palettes are from those brands. We can chat about that in the comment section. And if you want to go a step further, you can tell me what your favorite shade is out of your favorite palette from your favorite brand, you know? Or, you know, sometimes it's hard to just pick one shade out of a palette that's your favorite. Because, you know, I have a lot of fave shades out of these palettes too. You know, I'm not necessarily stuck on the exact shade as my favorite that I chose for this look. But you know, in terms of mattes and the color stories, I don't know. This is just what I wanted to go with, I guess. I mean, I could use 43 shades in this eye look because I love so many of the shades out of these palettes, but that would look a little messy. So now I think what I will, is go into the Steph's Pure palette and use the black matte right here called Rock. And that symbolizes Dave, Steph's boyfriend, because he is her rock. And I actually just talked to Steph earlier. So that was great to see her beautiful face. And I saw Dave and Kira, and it was wonderful to see everybody. They are wonderful people. They really are. I adore them so very much. And Steph truly is my family. Well, Steph, Kira, Dave's son, Tyler. I mean, you know, her mom. We're all family, really. I mean, that's how we look at each other. So it's really cool. And I also feel like I'm family with my collab partners, Andi and Ash and Leanna. Absolutely. You know, we have a really awesome, really deep level friendship, the 4 of us together. And it's just great. They're such wonderful people. And it's fun. We have a lot of fun in our group chat on Instagram because we'll talk about, like, you know, makeup releases and like, what do you think about this? And are you going to get this? And, oh, I got that. And I think you should get this, or maybe not I think you should get this, but if you're looking for this, maybe you should try that, you know, just that kind of stuff. Just being very, very wonderful about giving ideas to each other about different products and, you know, our experiences with brands and things like that. So it's really fun, really, really fun. And I'm getting that a little, so I need to slow down. And I'm gonna go back into, I need to quit moving these around. I'm gonna go back into Rich and just add a little bit of that back so I can take kind of that edge off that black matte shade. But yeah, I would love for the 4 of us, myself, Leanna, Andi, and Ash, to be able to get together. Man, we would have the time of our lives and paint the town red. We painted all different colors, I think. It would be so much fun. Oh, geez. That's the thing I think that can be really hard about this whole YouTube situation is that, I mean, Ash and I live close by, and we really do need to get together again. What I want to do is have Ash do my makeup. I would love for them to do like a special effect type thing on my face. That'd be so cool. But anything, I don't care. They can just put my foundation on. I'd be happy. But you know, the rest of us don't really live close to, you know, like I don't live close to Leanna and Andi at all. So it just sucks because if we all lived closer, we would definitely be hanging out. And, you know, Andi and I, we've done a lot of like 80s and 90s collabs together, which I'd really like to keep doing. I'm just kind of running out of, I don't know what else we could cover with that. You know, we've kind of covered it all. But, you know, Andi and I've talked about the fact that if we'd grown up together, oh my gosh, we would have been inseparable. Absolutely inseparable, because we have a lot in common in terms of like our tastes and, you know, just things that we did and wore and all that kind of stuff back in the 90s. It's just funny. And the 80s. I really do love that. And I think out of the Glamlite palette for the shimmer, I think I am going to use the dark purple shade rather than that one, just to kind of, I don't know, make it less monochromatic, because it's, well, it's not, I'm going to add the black, but anyway, I am going to use this shimmer shade right there. Let me find a brush. Using this palette just really makes me realize how crappy the Freddy Krueger palettes. I don't know, man. I'm going to keep playing with them. Oh yeah, this is gorgeous. I am going to keep playing with those palettes. I am. Especially the red one, because the green one is not too horrible, but the red one just really ticked me off. And I am going to be doing a second chance makeup video. I think I'm going to film that either tomorrow or Tuesday. And I thought about maybe pulling that red palette into that video, but I think I am going to use the Dark Fantasy palette from Beauty Bay, because I don't know. I really do want to give that palette another chance, because I've heard so many people are like, why don't you like that palette? That's ridiculous. It's such a great palette. And I'm like, yeah, but it just, some of the shimmers were just, so I do, though I want to give it another chance. Okay, and I'm blowing my shimmer up too high. Let me grab this brush and just kind of chill that out a little bit if I can. I mean, it's going to travel up there anyway. Yeah, I hate it when I do that, because it just, let me see if I can just kind of use my fingernail and scrape some of that shimmer away. Yeah, I think that's okay. I really like that. That's cool. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the LadybugGlow Pond Lily palette. Woohoo! And I'm going to go into, trying to decide if Lotus or Hyacinth would look better with this. I'm going to go into Hyacinth. I'm doing it. Ooh, yes. Oh, this is so stunning. Yes, it's got that really pretty, like, electric lavender almost. And then it's got that blue in it too. That is gorgeous. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh, I love that. I love that too, with the blue and the black. That is so cool looking. Very cool looking. Oh, yeah. You know what actually I might do? I think what I might do too is just take just a teeny tiny bit of the Lotus shade and just pop that just a little bit over the very front of this. Like, I'll show you here in just a second if I can get some on the brush here. This is kind of a flakier shade, so you just kind of have to pick up a couple of flakes and then smush it. I'm going to put this right here. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this completely over the top of Hyacinth, I think it's called. Yeah, let's add some more dimension, which I don't normally layer shades like this, but yes. Oh, yeah. That was ingenious. The Lotus shade is, I would say, is maybe a little bit more of a topper. Probably meant to go over at the top of a matte, but hey, whatever. I'm going to put it over the top of the Hyacinth shade to really amp this look up. Yes, that is so cool looking. Oh, I love it. So cool. I'm almost thinking about maybe taking it over the top of that purple shade from Glamlite. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Let's just keep taking this over the top of, oh yeah, that's cool. Because that actually brings out more of the blue over the top of the purple shade from the Glamlite palette. Oh, that is so cool looking. I love this. This is amazing. This is so fun. Because it is, and it's so deceiving, because when you look at the shade in the palette, it looks pink, right? Kind of like pink and almost like silver. And then you put it on your lid, it's like, wow! It's like this whole eyeshadow palooza. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to do this. This is awesome. Really like it. Because you can still see the other shades like peeking out through the bottom, you know, or underneath of that, through the bottom, whatever. That is so cool looking. Oh, I love it. So now I think I will go back into Rock and just place a little bit of that next to that shimmer shade, just to make sure that that looks a little bit more nice, more nicer. And then, yeah, I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of my stuff. Oh, that is so cool looking. That is so cool. It's so shifty and it's just amazing. It looks like I have like 22 different eyeshadows on my lid, and there's only, I mean, there's 3, but still, you know, looks like more than 3. So cool looking. So I'm pretty much done. I've got a ton of fallout down here, so I'll go clean that up, do my other eye face, you know, the rest of my goods, and I'll come back. So this is the finished look, and I had so much fun putting this look together. Ash, this was such a great idea. Thank you so much for coming up with this. And I really do like how the look turned out. I went obviously with a dark lip today, and I don't know. I kind of struggle now with dark lip shades on me. Like, I feel like I'm getting to an age where I don't know that that looks real good on me. But anyway, I went with it today and I'm sticking with it. So of course, I'll show you a few things I put on my face for my finished look, and then I'll kind of recap the palettes for you, and this video will be over. On my lips, I did use the Label Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Vamp Addict. And I just love this. Steph gifted this to me, and it's my favorite purple liquid lipstick that I have in my collection. It's just very dark. And then for my lower waterlines, I used the Beauty Creations Gel Liner in Denim. I just thought this a tone of blue would look really pretty with my eye look today. I love these. And then I did use the Fatal Beauty Black Like My Soul Felt Tip Liner in black, of course, on my upper lids. And then for my mascara, I used the Nobu Lash from Nobu Cosmetics. I love this. And you know, I just had, let me move this out of the way. I had such a wonderful time using all of these palettes for this look. Such a great idea. It was just ingenious. On my lower lash lines, I did use a combination of this shade and this shade out of the Glamlite Creeps and Crawls palette. And I really like how the purple looks in comparison to what's going on my lids. And it also, I feel like, kind of ties the purple shimmery stuff going on to the lower lash line as well. And then for my inner corner shade, I used this shade right here called October Scorpios. And then I also use a little bit of Purple Rain, these two together, and that was absolutely gorgeous. And I just love all of these palettes so much. They truly are 5 of my absolute favorite palettes from my absolute favorite brands. I mean, I could have chosen most of the palettes in my collection that I have from these brands to pull into this video. But I don't know, this just really suited what I was hoping for my look and color story, like the colors I really wanted to use for this look. And I had so much fun layering the shimmer shades, the LadybugGlow shimmer shades. That was really fun. And the Glamlite shimmer shade, just layering that across my lids. I don't know that I've really done a whole lot of layering of shimmers. And I don't really like to layer multi-chromes, but because I don't know because what, I just did it and it was really fun, and I really liked the final effect of that. Really beautiful. I cannot wait to watch Andi and Leanna and Ash's videos and see which brands, which palettes, and which shades that they chose for their looks. It's going to be so much fun, and I truly recommend, highly recommend, that you go to all of their channels and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Do yourself a huge favor. They are all such amazing and beautiful and talented and creative creators with lots of diverse content on their channels, and they are such special people in my life. And I cannot wait for us to do another collab together. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.